We're looking okay.
Good.
Let's just make sure our sound is...
Yep, you've got sound, I've got sound, I see green.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm just going to bring it up
good,
on this one. How are you all this morning, this afternoon, if you're in the UK or Europe, Asia?
Beyond?
Let's see. There we go. Oh, first question, top of the lot. Homeland.
Is that, what was that this weekend?
Unbelievable, the finale, the grand finale.
Grand, that's it.
Of all time, that's it.
Jeez.
Done.
You're gonna need a new show.
I'm in mourning.
Was it good?
Show.
Was it a good show at least?
One of our, did you see one of our followers had talked to Kyle Berkshire last week?
Talk to him?
Yeah, about doing a collaboration with us, and he's like, oh, I'd love to collaborate with the TXG
That'd be
boys.
cool.
So that'd be fun.
I don't know where he is in the States, Kyle.
I don't know either.
Maybe we can do something remotely until lockdown's over. And
Then
then
a couple of shots, I need to let young Michael in. All right, guys.
Good.
Let's see, let me get caught up here. Everyone's just saying hello.
There was a lot of preamble. You'll
Morning.
probably want to skip down.
Are we getting to some putter videos this week? Probably not.
Next Monday?
But maybe. Just being honest, we've got quite a lot of stuff lined up this week. We have, probably 10 good, solid videos that we've got lined up. So,
we're quarantined for another month at least, anyway. So we'll get there.
Is that official?
No, but nothing's happened until June. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. I'm
sure?
Yeah, well, I saw orders ping are reopening this week. A lot of the factories are starting to open.
I was just looking at stuff from Western Canada.
The numbers are significantly down in terms of like deaths and stuff like that. I mean,
they're looking a little better. I agree.
They're looking a whole lot better. I mean, I just think they have to re-energize the economy. They have to.
I'll be curious to see what they do. I mean, I don't think school's going to go back, period, this year, but we'll see.
Agreed. And that's like, if the kids can learn and stuff like at home and
remotely, yeah.
TXG is my morning coffee. Thanks, lads. Thank you, Jeffrey. Ian, can Ian describe a little his RPG shaft? Just bought one, an M4 Plus. Attaboy, that's what I've got. Exact same one. Get into a sim. Tipping recommendations. I would tip it 1/2 inch. One thing that people don't, whether they don't know or maybe that they forget, is that these sleeves, these modern Loft sleeves, are significantly shallower than they used to get in the old hosels on drivers. So it used to be, a through-bore driver with a Titleist or something like that. I mean, you'd be fully in there, a few inches.
A few inches?
Oh, I mean, if you think of like the length of a Titleist,
I guess from the top of the hosel down
all
to the
way
base.
down into that 3-bore. I mean, it was probably 2.5, close to 3.
So now you tip everything. How much do you tip everything?
Everything gets tipped minimum 1/2 inch,
Right.
unless specified.
And if someone wants a little bit firmer, they go another 1/2 inch to an inch.
So that's one of the reasons that driver was so, people would flight it so flat, because it basically negated the whole tip section of the driver.
So they thought the driver was low launch, but
It's completely just how it reacted to the shaft.
Mikey?
All right. What's happening with the swing today, Matty? Talk us through your...
Still working on the left elbow. Reducing the flying action.
Right. Maybe hit a few...
Yep. Keeping it a little bit more together. Some drills. It's okay. All right, maybe I can grab one. Jason asking about single length irons. We don't fit those currently, Jason. We did a couple videos on them though. It's not something we currently fit for in the shop though, so I don't think we can go into super detail, but if you want to see what we did to modify the set that we were sent to make them work better, check out that video. We have two videos on that. I'll sit for a minute. All right. See, there's a lot of chatter this morning. That's good. That's good. A little bit of housekeeping items. So we're on live this stream until 11 a.m. sharp. If you are a TXG member, silver level and above, we've got a members only live shortly after that, which you'll get onto. So did have some people asking about membership stuff. So if you're a bronze member, you can basically ask questions in here. You don't have to use the 3-minute wait, so it's a bit of an advantage there. And then we're doing a private one for the other guys later in the day. Yep, here, I'll give you back. I just grabbed like 2 easy ones while you were off.
Okay, Clint. Clint get fit for a TS3 9.5, then Acura TZ5 55 M4. Got it at C1, so lofted down and flat.
Just pop that on there. There you go, lovely.
But he hit his buddy's whiteboard 70 stiff. Question is, if his is better for me, could you explain the difference? I cannot explain the difference of why it was better because I can't obviously show you what changed. So there's a thumb down. 2 of them just came in.
Morning everyone.
Thumbs downers. Hope you're well. Enjoying a morning coffee, listening to TXG boys while you're putting your thumbs down.
Don't spill it on yourself. Don't spill coffee on yourself now.
I love it. In you come. The thumbs down are as welcome as the thumbs up.
Click a few ads while you're in here. Help us out.
Absolutely. So no, Clint, I mean, the thing is with that is, you know, weight is a variable of timing and obviously of stiffness. That means it's a dynamic situation. So we're going to be looking at things, you know, with regards to your timing. Unless you're standing right in front of us, I can't tell you how I can affect your timing or why you're doing certain things unless I see how you load it, etc. So, you know, it's a little bit of trial and error, I get it, but, you know, just do as much testing as you can. Okay. Chris. Question above. I have a really hard time when people put questions outside of their super chat. It's really hard to find.
Always put them in, people, if you can.
If you have a super chat, at least put the majority of the question in there. It's really hard to find it. We really want to.
What's the name? I'll give you in.
Chris C.
Grab it over here.
This just means we have to scroll all the way through. There's got it there.
Oh, you got it?
Got you, Chris. All right. 105 driver swing speed. I like the feel of the lighter iron shafts. Thoughts on C-taper light versus Modus 105? Also, if I go one of these, what should I use for wedges? Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that, Chris. As long as you are cognizant of getting them built correctly. I think the one thing, if I see anything happening as a trend in the industry, people are defaulting towards using head weights that are a little bit on the light side. If you have a preference for lighter shafts, not that these are light, these would be kind of, you know, sort of mid in terms of weight. You know, I'd consider 80, 90 light, anything less than that ultra light, where you are kind of mid-range from weight, and then 125 and above into the heavy stuff. So I think C-taper light, Modus 105, two really, really good options. Quite different, unique in the profile, so if you can try them both, see if you have a preference for the feel or the way that one of them performs. In terms of the wedges, you could very easily go with, if you're going C-taper light, you can go with potentially a KBS Tour 120. Keeps the weight up, keeps the feel there. If you go Modus, you could actually easily go Modus 120 as well. Keeps it, it's not too heavy, 114 grams. Hope that helps, Chris. Oh, Adam's saying no spoilers. I'm watching it after this. A little Homeland. I know. I knew there'd be some people who haven't yet seen it because it was just last night. So the only spoiler I'll give you is that you're going to absolutely love it. It's a long episode as well, so get the kettle on. John has a good question here. Morning, gentlemen. At what point during a driver fitting, do you recommend a change in shaft flex? Is it flight characteristics or is it more dependent on club head speed? It's definitely not dependent purely on club head speed like everyone thinks it is. Everyone thinks there's a designated, if I'm 90 miles an hour, what flex should it be? You could be anywhere from a range of flexes at that point. The more important thing is what is the profile of the shaft that suits you the most. What are you working on over there?
My elbows. Same as last week.
That's a first.
Get out of here.
True story. All right.
Same as last 2 weeks, actually.
Let's see. James recently bought a 2016 M2 8.5.
Oh.
Wow. Planning on selling it. They retailed for 600. Have you guys heard about it? Yeah, I mean, I know they were obviously tour issue only.
The 8.5?
The 8.5 2016 M2s. I had some friends who had it. Yeah, cool. I've heard of them. I don't think you'll get $600 for it now. I think you might be lucky to get 253.
It's in good shape.
If it's in good shape. Ian is asking, could you please tell me what brand of impact screen and hitting mat you use at TXG? I've no idea who makes the impact screen. It's from a company in Montreal, but they're direct. They work directly with Foresight. And we use turf from Synthetic Turf International.
Probably just email Foresight if you want to. I
don't think they'll give it away. I guess it's like proprietary.
Can they buy it through them though?
Yeah, you can buy it through them.
Buy it through Foresight?
In South Africa, it's going to be a different vendor.
Always in South Africa.
Yeah, locally, I think everyone will have their own vendors. RM, should you stick with the same flex throughout your set? Pretty commonly, I would say that would be what most people would do, but I don't think it's essential. I've seen myself at times having someone maybe play a slightly stronger driver and then have the other shafts maybe play an X in the driver and play some stiff throughout. I've seen that before. Pity the fool. Congratulations to Mr. Fraser, who still holds the highest ever TrackMan score in Canada. I did not know that.
What's that? Combine.
Oh. I didn't know it was. That was a long time ago. I've not done a TrackMan combine since probably 2014.
It's good that that's still up there. You probably would be getting a TrackMan. Oh, I better get my score.
That's cool. Matty, is the banner time right? Stream ends at 11.
I fixed it.
Okay, perfect. Matty,
stream ends at 11. Don't ask new questions after 10:30 if you don't mind.
Perfect.
Because we'll know we'll be getting to them.
Perfect. Okay, Brett. Quick question. Tensei Pro orange in the driver, 70TX. Where should I start looking for in a fairway wood? I assume you mean 3 wood, Brett. You probably aren't going to want to play something as tip stiff. You're going to want something a little bit more active because of the dual purpose of fairway wood shaft. The reality is though, everything is softer in the tip section than a 10C Pro Orange, so it shouldn't be too difficult to do that. I really like 10C actually. I know most people like Pro Blue, but I actually really like Pro White in the fairway wood as well. So maybe try a 70 TX in the Pro White.
Is white less tip stiff than?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Keep an eye on the live ones here for you for a minute.
Good morning, fellas. All-time favourite shaft, Romback 7Z08. What current shaft is the same profile and feel? Too subjective. Feel is you to you to you. It's not you to me. I would honestly say, looking back that far, I mean, there's been shafts that, like, I loved an Aldila NV shaft. It doesn't mean I still go around looking for, similar profiles. You've changed, the equipment's changed, the head requirements have changed. The way the ball flies has changed. So your swing, no doubt, from when the 7Z08 was around, you've changed. So go out there and do a little bit of testing. You want to grab one, Matty boy? We'll do a little. We'll alternate back and forth.
Yeah, good idea. Got a couple people asking about stability shafts this morning.
Still getting Patreon member questions.
I'll send them
right now.
I'll have to send it. It's
crazy.
We have an account, but it doesn't.
Right, sorry, go for it.
A few people are asking, like, who is a stability shaft for? Or, like, do you need to be fit for a stability shaft? Is it basically just like, if you're willing to invest the money, there's some benefit to it?
Yeah, I would say more of that than...
like, you don't need to go and say, there's not a flex categories to it, there's not different specs to it. You just need to decide if you want to invest in it. The
people who I would say it's going to benefit more are the people who like heavier head weights.
Okay. Because it balances that out.
Yeah, it will sort of reduce some of that deflection.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll take one more quick one from the present. Gareth is asking, his driver is D6. Says it doesn't feel too heavy, and he swings around 102. Mm-hmm. He plays all his other clubs at D2 and D3 though. Any disadvantage if it's functioning?
Not if it's functioning. I think the range is questionable. D2 to D6. It's a bit like me going D4 to D8. I know what happens when I swing a D8 golf club. It doesn't go well.
Right. So it's strange to have one in the irons.
Four swing weights of difference is generally too much. I think you can maybe go 2 and still be okay, but 4 is a bit much.
Gotcha.
Ian, where's better for golf, Scotland or Canada? No brainer.
Canada.
We all know
that one. Oh man.
The homeland. The people who invented it. Crossfield podcast was good. Got the impression there was more you guys wanted to ask in part 2 at some point. I mean, whether it was Rick Shields and the podcast went for an hour and a half, or Mark went over an hour, or whatever, Peter Finch went for over an hour. There's way more we wanted to ask.
Eventually you have to stop, unless you're a Joe Rogan 3-hour podcast. I know. I wonder if there's value to that and then just break it. But at his level, there is. For sure.
You just have to be so mindful that someone is giving you their time.
I didn't want to make him sit there for 3 hours.
That's the way I end up getting. Like, I think I'm probably more uncomfortable by the end, going like, I don't want you to feel like you have to
sit here. Well, they're waiting as the host. They're waiting for you to say it's over, right? They're not going to just be like, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah. Golf course is reopened in Dubai. Very nice. Ian, does adding a button set extension to a graphite shaft change the feel at all? No, I would say at that part, if you're extending it by a ½ inch or something like that, it's kind of on your last pinky finger. So I don't think it's really hitting enough sensors for you to really start to feel the change of it.
I'll take a quick one from...
Go for it, yeah.
Benjamin is asking, what's the best way to create club head speed, working out or super speed golf? Speed sticks? I would say speed sticks.
100%.
Like, work on your fitness for your own personal health.
Yeah.
I don't think that working out for most people is going to translate into speed on the golf course. It hasn't for me. I'm happier and more fit having been to the gym, but I didn't go to the gym to say I'm going to get faster at golf specifically.
It's funny how people's perception is though. Like even someone who I'm very close with, like Mikey, like I saw on his live, on his Instagram stories, some people who obviously watch the channel are like, why is Ian swinging faster? And Mike was like, he's strength training.
That's what Mikey said?
Yeah. But like, which to
Definitely
be
not
that's the
why
only
you're
thing he knows that I'm doing.
Oh,
Like he knows how much I'm training right now, and he doesn't know how much I'm like working on other things. So it's just always fascinating to me where people think speed comes from.
I think your speed's coming more from technique.
Oh, it's
not more,
wholly coming
entirely from technique.
Entirely. I mean, you know, there definitely has been periods while playing golf that have been significantly stronger than I am right now, and not even close. I mean, like 15 miles an hour slower. So for me, it has nothing to do with strength. I think the body stuff, I think the strength, the flexibility, the mobility, it's more about body maintenance.
For sure. And I think it would help you feel better at the end of the round. It'd help you be more consistent. Like if you get sore mid-round, your core is tired, you start swinging poorly, that's a big deal for sure. Definitely. And maybe it would help you maintain your speed, but I agree. It's not going to help you increase your speed.
Not for me. I mean, it's interesting talking to Carl a little bit on done a couple of lives with him in the last couple of weeks, and he says the thing that he's seen that influences speed the most is anything that relates to a wood chop pattern.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense, sequencing wise, actually. Yep.
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead a few? I'll speed through. I'll do a little speed round. Then we can switch back in 15, 20 minutes. Ooh, okay. Our pal Joe is asking, from your 4-iron to your hybrido, your beloved, what is your yardage gap?
A fly 4-iron are about 220.
Okay.
And then a fly hybrid, I tried to fly at 240. So I tried to keep it at 20.
20 yards. Do you have any concern with that, or you're fine with that?
No. To be honest, at that part of the game, like if I've got 230, I'm happy being, I'll weigh up, I'm happier being a little short, I'm happier maybe being pin high or long.
Just pick the club and hit a different shot. Just pick the right
one, yeah.
Tough to have 12-yard gaps all the way up to the long irons. All right, Jody says, appreciate you guys doing the live sessions. Our pleasure. My pleasure. We enjoy them just as much, believe us.
It's become a kind of staple of the TXG.
I hope we can I know we can. We'll continue to be make it part of our routine post-lockdown. I think it's a nice part of the morning. Get started with the live, and then we move into our other vids. So
yeah, I mean, I like just kind of connecting with everyone,
see
how everyone's doing, and
it's good.
Don't forget about us once you're all back to work.
I know. I have a feeling that people will still be into it. Watch time during work hours is always the highest. So
you lazy bastards.
I know. Love it. I love it. As I always say to people, who the hell works 8 hours solid every day? No one. You got to have some breaks in there. Watch some TXG videos. All right, Cameron's asking. He wants us to guess the swing weight. Oh, I love this. He's got a Rogue Sub-Zero driver with an even flow blue 65 at 44.5 inches. Tour Velvet grip. This is good. You can do this. I know you can do this. 44.5 inches.
Yeah.
Even flow blue.
What's the head?
That's a Rogue Sub-Zero. Should weigh what, 192 grams, 193? We weighed it about 2 months ago, remember? I'm pretty sure it's the same as Maverick Sub-Zero. Same exact.
I'm going to say D1.
Okay, D1. Like it. Cameron, D1 is our guess. If you ever get to measure it, tell us if he was right. That's funny. How old are we? I am 30. Ian is?
36.
We've been in quarantine so long, we forgot our age. Did you really have to, when's your birthday? Aren't you like a summer birthday or something?
July.
Oh, geez, you're going to turn
July,
37.
37. Yeah, 5th of July this year.
You're getting old, eh? He's inching ever closer to the giant 4-0.
Yep.
All right. Good evening from the Philippines. Good evening. Hope all is well in the Philippines. All right, from Dan. Dan has got 115 mile an hour swing speed, plays a Epic Flash Sub-Zero, Fuji Pro 2.0 7X, lovely. He's thinking of adding lead tape to the head. Is that common? I would say yes. He's probably playing a pretty light swing weight there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Epic Flash Sub-Zero and a counterbalance shaft.
Yep.
Yep, Dan, I would say you could probably safely, add 8 grams or so?
Well, shaft weight obviously is playing a part.
7X, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, 4, depends where he wants it. I mean, 4 to 8.
4 to 8.
4 would bring him back into like kind of normal region.
Start with 4 then, Dan. See how it feels. If it feels good, leave it alone. If not, you can sprinkle a bit more in there. All right, new member, Benjamin. Welcome,
Hey,
Benjamin. I'm going to get all these. There's a bunch of new members, so I'm going to get a bunch as I go.
Bunch of glockenspiels.
Robin, welcome, new member. Thanks for joining us. This is interesting timing. I had a note on this on my little running list of videos. Caleb's asking about loft sleeves, how they can be a little confusing. I think we should do like a loft sleeve roundup.
Go through everyone's loft sleeves.
I think we should do a video about what does a loft sleeve do, sort of, and then use a bit at the end to just quickly outline how the major 6 or 7 loft sleeves differ a little bit. I know some of them are kind of the same, but yeah. I know Callaway is quite a bit different from TaylorMade, and so Caleb, I think we can definitely do that in the future. Be useful. Okay.
I tell you what, I did not think I'd be able to hit shots today.
You're not killing you?
It was. Carl told me to do hot and cold therapy all weekend.
That help?
Game changer.
Really? Just ice, heat, ice, heat, ice, heat?
Straight, just go away from one to the other. Hot water bottle, ice pack. Hot water bottle, ice pack.
Nice.
Literally within the like probably 2-3 hours, like the pain had gone, and then the movement started to come back. And
that's sweet.
Yeah.
Good. That is good. Matt's asking about shafts that you find similar to the Kurokaze XT.
There was one I used to always use for that, which was the Acra CS400 series.
Okay. Out of model now, or out of production?
Yeah, we still have it. I'd look at something like a Graphite Design XC would be
the new XC.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt, that's a good choice. Yeah, I like that in testing too. Okay, from Brian. Brian was recently fit at Club Champion. They use an adapter that adds a little bit of swing weight. Okay.
They certainly do.
He liked the additional swing weight. Someone who cast the club had helped me feel like I was, I guess, keeping the angles a bit longer. So for someone that casts the club, does heavier swing weight potentially help them feel the head a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Brian, that sounds possible. So what I would do is if you can ask your fitter to swing weight that exact club for you that you hit, and then they can build it close to that spec. That would be your best course of action. All right, from Matt. Matt is asking, generally speaking, pricing on graphite iron shafts. So Acra I-125s, for example, what are those per shaft?
They're about $100
Canadian?
Yeah.
Okay, so $100 Canadian, Matt, for Acras.
$80 US.
MMTs are a bit more expensive?
Yes. Yeah. I want to say they'd be like
$150 maybe?
Like $100 US.
Okay, so
130,
30, 40, whatever. Our dollar's junk. Yep, in that range, Matt. So steel shafts, depends on what steel shaft. There are steel shafts that go up to, $80 to $100 a shaft also, but your mid-range steel shafts are usually what, 60? Aftermarket steel, like Tour Issues and Project X, like 60
Cost?
bucks? No, like price, yeah, retail price.
Yeah, retail prices. Anywhere from, like steel shafts go anywhere from Canadian 80 to 100.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's generally speaking more expensive, but for some people it is more than worth the investment. Lindsay says she likes your optimism for reopening of the world.
Yep.
All right. New member.
I think we have to.
Prompts. Oh, it's not that I don't want it. I've just been battered by the.
I don't even think it's that people are that no one's gonna want to. I just think they have to.
They have to.
It's going to get to that point. You're looking at the stats, like if there's 0.002 of the population having passed away. Now this is a touchy subject. If someone's losing someone close to them, then that's a near and dear thing to them. But when the scale is that, can you shut down a global economy for those types of numbers? Like I'm starting to like go, yeah, I can see people's point with that.
It's such. I mean, I don't envy anyone in a decision-making position. I really don't.
The thing that frustrates me the most, here's my soapbox moment, is we as a facility, we could be open. We could have a fit going on there, a fit going on there. You could never have to get within 2 meters of your client at any point.
Yeah.
And we could still be doing business because we have the ability to put measures in place, but we're not given the opportunity to go be judged on a business by business basis.
Yeah, they just
everyone's
don't have the, they have
thrown,
to lump it. Yeah.
They're generalizing.
They have to, yeah.
Which is tough. But I think you should be able to kind of somewhat appeal and present the case for your business. Go, here are the measures that we can put in place. Do we kind of
do we qualify?
Yeah, do we qualify?
Be interesting. That might be the kind of thing that occurs in mid-May. Who knows?
That feels like it would at least be somewhat fair. Like get a hearing. Get someone, a government or someone
a video
locally.
chat or something where you can talk about it. Yeah, it's a wild scene. That is for damn sure. It is a wild scene. Okay, from Steven. Steven, sorry, we did find your question eventually. Steven is asking, shorter, heavier hybrid concept. Yes. He's got a 19-degree 816 H2. He's switching between a Tennessee white and a Rogue black. Interested in going shorter and heavier. So he watched our video with the Ghost. Yep. Fair enough, the Ghost is not cheap. What would be a little bit more of a economical alternative to the Ghost?
Probably a hazardous black 105.
So he's got a hazardous black. I don't know if it's a 105.
Yeah.
No, he's got a Rogue black. My mistake. So hazardous black 105,
yep.
Steven. And you go 105 because you're going to cut it short.
Because
right?
you're going to go short. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Chef recommends. Chef recommends. Okay. Time is at 10:30. Just a reminder, if you haven't put your question in, please hang on to it for Thursday's live stream because we're going to be a little briefer today. That's not a word. 11 a.m. sign off, and we're doing a members only live for the members, silver and above. Speed round. How's your swing feeling?
I'm trying to get back to kind of like more down, more fades.
Did you feel like you were getting the other way?
That way, yeah. Anytime I see my speed spike up with the irons, I know it's coming from that.
The goat humping. A gentle goat humping. All right, from Mike. Mike is asking, 8-iron swing speed around 90. Okay, very speedy. He's got Apex CF16 irons with KBS C taper 120s. His miss is left or a hook. What beer do you recommend at the turn? What a beauty. That's hilarious. I was reading that question like pretty seriously. It depends, Mike. Depends. Do you enjoy a rich beer, a light beer? All up to you. 8-iron swing speed. Well, I don't know if you actually want advice on your 8-iron. Is 122 light for someone that swings that fast?
Is
90 miles an hour with an 8-iron is fast.
Yeah, C taper. But C taper of all shafts is probably one that you could say, okay, I get it. It's stout.
I think he just wanted to ask us what beer.
What beer? And my beer of choice needs to change.
No, don't say that. Support the poor company. They've been dealt a bad hand.
So true.
Been dealt a bad hand. You can still drink a cold Corona at the turn. I like a Michelob Ultra, a la Brooks Koepka, to be honest with you. They're good on the
What
tour.
has happened to his hair?
Poor guy.
Jenna Sims.
Well, I was watching that and I said, listen, it's not that hard to cut your hair at home.
I know.
Come on, Jenna.
I know.
What are you doing?
What is she doing?
She gets away with murder. Because she's hot. How could you be mad at her? All right. Benjamin, we got that question about speed. That's good. Steven. Good question, Steven. So Steven has a set of cast irons. They're Wilson C300s.
They're what?
Wilson C300 irons.
Yep.
Generally speaking, I know we don't carry those, but generally speaking, a cast iron, how much can you bend the lies safely?
You'll have a hard time bending it more than two.
Two
you might
is the
get
limit.
two. Some of the heads will be more malleable than others, but Tough.
Uno or dos, Stephen. No more than that. Or they will break. New member, James. Welcome, James.
Welcome, James.
James has a Tiger Woods thumbnail. We approve. Caleb. Okay, Caleb, I see you've got a little correction about, or a follow-up, loft sleeve. Is this statement correct? No one makes a loft sleeve that doesn't close the face when increasing loft. True or false? So is there a loft sleeve where you can get more loft without shutting the face? That's a tough one. I feel like Titleist, you can do that.
Yeah. Titleist is more on angles rather than being like a single axis sleeve.
Let me pull up the Titleist chart. I feel like you can get a quarter of a degree of loft without changing the face angle. Titleist loft chart.
The best one, to be honest, was the TaylorMade ASP system.
That was that little thing on the bottom?
Yeah, sole plate. Usually the loft sleeve and the sole plate. Then you could get loft independently from face angle.
The Titleist chart doesn't show face angle, it shows lie. So
Cobra integrate what they call the smart pad, which is basically the angle which the driver sits on.
I remember that.
Yeah, so that can change. Now, they don't talk about it anymore, but I'm curious if they still have that as an integrated technology.
I'm not sure. Okay. Andrew is asking, what makes game improvement / distance irons susceptible to inferior distance control? So what is it about that design that...
Well, they're so hot. They're generally hot, or lofts are stronger, that any variance in spin, because they are stronger, they generally produce less spin. Any variance in spin leads to more inconsistent distance control.
Gotcha. So with a blade, for example, the ball speed is per iron lower.
Yes.
And so if you were to shut the face on that a bit, the spin would still probably drop, but it wouldn't then also be super fast. Is that basically what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, for most people, coming up a little bit short is sort of okay, but if you nuke one over a green, it's not too many good things over the back of a green.
Most golf courses, it's bad news. It's true. Yeah, so Andrew, the faster ball speed and lower spin is what makes the baseline a little bit more susceptible to that one that is an absolute disaster, basically. But you have to assess your own game. If you don't find yourself doing that all the time, then it's not a big concern. All right. No, Ian's haircut is legal. His wife did it. Looks pretty good.
Tell you what, she's getting good.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Even like watching her do it now, she's getting in her flow. Like first she was like, bzz, bzz, and then she'd flick it, like try to flick a little bit off. I'm like, no, you gotta get into it, like get that C shape going. And
it's hard to trust how, like, you go to the barber, they press in there a fair amount.
Oh, they do.
They get in there good.
Well, and the first time she done it, I only let her do it with like a 3.
Yeah.
And then like a little bit of a 2. Last night she's into the 1. She's like,
oh yeah,
she's right in there.
I was into the half last time. As I kept saying, worst case, you wear a hat. Who gives?
Gonna grow back.
Flying, whatever. Yeah, get down to the 1 right at the bottom next time. All right. This is a good question. Toby's asking, is there an iron out there? This is a while back. Okay, so basically he's asking for a higher handicap iron that isn't so much on the draw / hook bias.
On an iron?
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
585?
585 Strixons, okay.
You could probably consider a Hot Metal Pro in there as well.
Hot Metal Pro because there's not too much offset?
Yep.
Honma's decent? TWX?
Yep.
It's a pretty sizable iron. Offset's pretty minimal.
Yep.
Okay, those are your 3. And if you want to spend $1 billion, Concept from Titleist. That's up to you. If you're not attached to all your money, then...
Who needs their money anyway?
Be free money. Goodbye. Goodbye forever.
Great set of sticks though.
They're so nice. They're so nice. Okay, thoughts on original jailbreak versus the newest jailbreak. Epic original versus Maverick. I'll make a few guesses. Head weight, probably pretty similar. MOI, I would say definitely higher. And I think the new face technology is more consistent on spin. That's my input.
I like it.
Ian says he agrees. There'll be no further expansion on that.
like it.
Have we ever sharpened wedge grooves? I did once or twice.
Yep, I have, yep.
Yeah. I think you have to be careful not to make your wedge illegal, but if you're not playing in competitions, then it's probably not a big risk, eh?
Yeah, the making them deeper, as long as you're not widening them, making them like deeper, it's more about the shoulder angle when it comes to
shoulder
angle.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Basically,
because they get dull, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You need to retain. That's one of the reasons people don't know this, but one of the reasons pros use raw wedges over plated wedges. People think it's for the rust. It's got nothing to do with the rust. If you look at pros wedges, none of them really play them rusty.
So it's because the plating wears off faster?
The plating dulls the shoulder edge.
Oh, because it's a coating.
Because there's a coating, so it
That's
softens
quite
the shoulder edge of the wedges.
I know you've said that before and I totally forgot.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
because we've tested the rustiness, and the rustiness, I don't know, I never found it to be very helpful.
I think it's
Detrimental.
Detrimental to consistency.
Because you can't rust evenly by definition. It's impossible.
And what do you get day to day? Do you get rust that if it's wet and the rust gets slippy and you end up getting a slide,
With
and
some bit
then
of
a
water on
certain
there?
day you get like a heavier rust spot than next to it.
And it zips.
I don't like inconsistency.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense for the raw wedge. Favorite adult beverage that isn't a beer? Ooh.
Oh,
Go for it.
favorite. I like. I'm a vodka drinker.
Are you?
Yeah,
Never seen you order vodka.
yeah. Do you know what? Back home, all we would drink is vodka.
Are we talking about like party night? Or are you talking about like?
yeah, like nights out.
Yeah.
I don't. Outside of nights out, I know you're like a social recreational. Like you'll have a couple of whiskeys or something. I'd never drink unless it's
Socially?
yeah.
It's probably a good policy to have. I like bourbon.
Yeah, you do like a little bourbie.
I like bourbon. My neighbors are Venezuelan, so they've brought me over some really nice rum, though. So I would also say I do like rum. All right, for Mr. Hardy, I was talking to Chris TXG last night. Good. I think Chris did a little Q&A on his.
Yeah, he's
Instagram.
really good at those.
He's been doing. Mikey's doing them too. They're both doing a good job.
Chris's podcast goes today on.
With Peter Finch.
Peter Finch today.
Okay.
So
Go
guys,
check out
if you
Peter
get a chance, what's Peter Finch's podcast called? The Rough something.
The Rough Cut, I think.
The Rough Cut podcast. Peter Finch's Rough Cut podcast. One of our fitters, Chris Kendall, is on there talking. I think they're talking specifically on shafts.
Cool. So what Mr. Hardy was asking was 65X and 75X in the same shaft model, much more consistent with the 75 grams. He said he was getting more toe strikes with the 65. Interesting.
Okay. Cool.
Makes sense. A little better head control, I guess. Okay, I'm going to go super speed round because we have to be done in 17 minutes. Or do you want to come back and do a speed round?
I can do that.
Okay.
I can definitely do that.
All right. Again, guys, please hold off. If you have not asked yet, please don't ask now because we definitely won't get to it. Welcome, Dan, new member. Hello. Welcome.
We're getting dodgy numbers off
That's
that
not
quad.
Michael
Do you know
and
that?
Kyle. Say that again.
Dodgy numbers off that quad.
What the hell was that? A 6-iron?
That's a 4-iron. But like 13 launch, 3600. 146 efficiency.
Yeah, 146. What golf ball was that?
Strixon.
Okay, I'm leaving you with that one right there.
Okay. Aiden plays a G400. Yeah, I think of all the offerings, the hazardous stuff is quite unique in its profile, Aidan. So I think if you like it and get on well with it and you're comfortable with kind of the feeling of it, it makes sense to give it a run. I wouldn't see why not. I mean, Titleist do have obviously lots of shaft options in there, in the options. So yeah, no, I think that's a safe play. Okay. Charles is just adding on to something we were talking about earlier with the strength and conditioning sort of element. He says he thinks the largest benefit of gym time is core stabilization, sequence, and injury prevention.
Totally agree.
Couldn't kind of certainly add any more to that. That's excellent.
Very true.
Toby's asking, hey guys, is there an iron set out there that satisfies draw by?
I got that one.
Okay, you did.
Yep. We're talking about
too much offset.
Yeah, exactly. Game improvement irons that don't have too much offset.
Okay, love it.
You might have just asked it twice.
Nathan, just sat with a wife. We're getting a lot of these just sat with a wife ones.
Love it.
Please, could you convince her why coming to see you guys would benefit us both? Love the show.
Would it benefit your wife? Is that what you're saying?
This is Brady. Toronto is a beautiful city. We have been sort of affected by the COVID-19 situation significantly less than other major cities, so you will feel safe when you're here. There will be lots of nice options for restaurants. The lovely environment at TXG will be here for Nathan, and you obviously are keen to see him happy. That's the most important thing to you, so it's also the most important thing to us. So book a lovely trip to Toronto so we can meet Nathan.
That's pretty good.
All right. Inter-community chat here, I love it.
Inter members?
Yeah. Okay, Scott Carmichael. Project XLZ 65, 105. I'm guessing. Is that your speed that's 105, Scott? Or is that? I assume if you're talking about the gram weight, it can't be the real LZs because they're 125 at 6.5. What do you think? I have them in my eyes. I'm not really sure what you're asking there, Scott. That's maybe kind of give us an idea. Is that your speed you're talking about or the gram weight of the shaft? Not sure. Which brand has the most naturally draw biased driver for lefties? Well, you got to go with Ping because they make everything lefty as they do in righty.
Yep.
And their stuff has been tested as being probably the SFT heads are as draw bias as there is.
SFT with the weight in the heel would be.
Yep.
And face closed.
Shut. Yep.
Goodbye, Slice.
Let's see. Cheers, guys. Purchased a set. I'm 22 years old. Cheers, guys. Purchased a set. I'm 22 years old and carrying 230. Want to try and get more distance with swing speed. Any advice for a novice video maker? I mean, Benjamin, the advice for a novice video maker, just document your journey. Mm-hmm. Document exactly what it is that you're doing. I mean, you know, there's so many ways in which you can improve your game. You can dive into all facets of the physical, mental, technical side of golf, and everyone's always interested in what works for other people. That's common amongst us as golfers, as we all want to learn from each other. So.
Yep.
Martin is asking where to get fit in Scotland. Two places, Scott Gourley Golf Technologies in Edinburgh, Pure Forged in Ayrshire. They would be from Jamie McCormack. Both of those are great. Lots of love for the Loft sleeve video, the idea of that.
Down.
Derek is saying Mizuno sleeves are strange too. Not too, we'll get into that.
They're pretty straightforward, I thought.
Pretty straightforward. I had
Once
one
you know.
in my pocket, kicking about. I actually brought a hybrid Loft sleeve. Yeah. Oh. Potentially pull that shaft out of the, can you believe that?
You have to get your baselines with yours first.
Yeah.
Pull the shaft out. I feel like, have I died?
Have I died?
Can't believe you're serious.
No, I'm pretty committed to that head.
I liked it for you for sure. I think if we had
I think we're on the right track with that.
definitely. Yep.
I always preach to people that you have to be open-minded enough to understand that change takes time.
True.
And if you see benefits to it, then work with it over a period and you'll get back to where you were, if not beyond.
Right.
But give it the period and you got to take your own advice.
I agree.
Luca is asking, I know you guys said that tailoring high toe wedges weren't the best for hitting longer shots. Is that something you could get used to, hitting from longer distances? Yeah, I mean, I think the new, there's a few more options now in sort of sole design. Yeah. I'd be curious for myself to go back in and try a couple of different sole designs. And for me, the lack of forgiveness was in the turf interaction.
Yeah, true.
I found it was digging a lot, so I don't think that's a flaw in the club. I just think that's just not being the right kind of grind and sole design for me. So I would like to go back in and try those again because I love the sort of options that wedge gave me around the green.
Yeah, the green side was the best. Yeah. All right, we got 9 minutes.
Wayno, hi guys, thank you Ian for your emails this week. They've been a big help. I mean, I tell you what, one thing we've had is great feedback with the online stuff.
100%.
Great feedback. Yep. People saying like they've went out, took our advice and grabbed some different shafts and things to try, and it's been going well. I mean, I hate to say this, I'm just being honest, but sometimes you understand the online stuff can be a bit hit and miss because you're working with so much less information, albeit our customers give us great information. You don't understand all the variables, so the feedback is really positive, and it makes me believe more and more that the online is a viable option.
Yeah, it'd be tough to picture a year ago giving someone online fitting advice, but you're right, it seems like it is quite effective.
Yep. All right, what do you see there, Matty?
Let's see. Let me grab right from the bottom. You get down to the next one for yourself, and I'll grab something from the new.
Raul's in with the good questions today. In the Lockdown Learning Series with Andrew Rice, Ian briefly mentions how shaft droop varies between clubs depending on how the player releases it. Could he elaborate? I mean, I can elaborate. It just does. I mean, there's everyone, independent of speed, people place different forces and torques on the shaft. So the amount of force that you apply to the movable part, which is obviously the shaft, is going to make it react differently. So that's one of the things that gears is here for, is to measure those forces and torques and help us understand how, like I've said this many times, launch monitors are great for telling us about impact. To tell us how it got to impact, up until now we've used our eyes. Gears is going to be great because it's going to allow us to measure that process in that period of time. So it's really all about how the player affects the force and torque on the golf club.
Gotcha. Lovely. Slide down to Brent there if you can, and I'll prep one down here.
Thoughts on the Fujikura Pro 95 stiff iron shaft? Yeah, good shaft. We, I believe, are adding it back into the lineup when we reopen. We have some more. We have some more shaft options coming. We're probably going to put about another. We're changing it up a little bit. I know we always say that, but we are probably putting about 40 or 50 new shafts up when we reopen.
Lovely. Ryan's asking about hitting knockdown shots with a wedge. Does it spin less than a full shot with a wedge? It should. Yeah, it should. It's all
down to spin loft. Something that would be really interesting, actually, could be a video for today, is trying to establish the perfect conditions for certain shots. What are the perfect conditions for the low spinner? I have the spin loft number in my mind.
Okay.
So if we can establish the spin loft number, then we know what we need to do to the angle of attack and the dynamic loft. We also know what we need to do to the strike, is keep it below the CG in order to kind of lower the launch and increase the spin.
Right.
So Though that'd be some.
That'd be a good little series. It'd kind of be like a. Well, it'd be like our Science of the Highlight Reel thing, but more specific to like those shots that everyone wants to hit, basically.
And the thing is, the shots that everyone wants to hit, they are the Hollywood shots. But let us get into how do we simplify that?
Yeah.
What do you need to do to the shaft lean? Where does the ball position need to be? How do we we know what needs to happen, but I think we could do a good job of explaining sort of how to achieve that on a regular basis.
Take the basically kind of open up the hood a bit and let people see what actually needs to occur.
Yeah.
And there's a good one there. Your next question from Ryan. Nope, from Jai. Tour Z RPG M5 Plus. Question?
Yeah, I mean, it is a good question. The reality is, if you're getting those frequency matched, you will be looking significantly softer with the irons than you would with the RPG.
Thing is in the upper regions of stiff.
Yeah, stay tuned for my driver video. I think that will be an interesting one for a lot of people who are who are kind of curious about
tomorrow
M4 versus M5, and I play 120 Modus X-Flex. Jai, you play the 120 TX, which are definitely stiffer than 120 X100s. So yeah, I would say you might be a little on the soft side with those.
Okay, you just got 2 or 3 more. It's ready. Ryan's
James is saying, shave the top off, it'll grow back. Come on, the boys. Couldn't do it. I know you couldn't either.
I use like a number 10 basically on the top and just
do
took
you?
a bit of length off it. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that.
I would be shitting myself.
Nah. What's the worst? I said to Lindsay, what's the worst that can happen? It's got a guide on it. It can't get
Like
any shorter.
if she wasn't capable of cutting the top with scissors, then I'd be like, okay.
Oh, she did a little scissors.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
She's good at it.
that
The
I wouldn't.
8-step process.
I would not allow that. I think we're in different boats there. I would rather know that the long clippers can't be. The scissors are a little more.
I tell you, I take my hat off to her. She's capable.
TXG Barbershop.
I know.
All right, grab that one from Ryan there.
Ryan, is it reasonable for a mid-handicapper to play a split set, steep swing, prefer thinner soles? Yeah, I think, Ryan, just be mindful to go for a loft and lie session, or make sure it's addressed within the session. I think in this case, obviously, even if you go get fit, there's a progression put down on paper, build it to these specs, still go for a follow-up session afterwards. I think that would be a good one to ensure they all go the right distance, and make sure you consider the golf ball you're playing as well. That would be important.
Perfect. You've got one there from Justin. Justin's asking about that Mizuno 566 ball. We have not tried it yet, but we definitely will.
Yeah, we have it here to try.
It's the dimple one. Probably get outside with it because it's all dimple based, but
sure.
That's for the future. And then Damien there.
Luke is asking, where do you find published EI curves? Well, I mean, pretty much all manufacturers have published EI curves on their websites.
Shafts,
So just go to the websites and you'll see. You'll have to do your own sort of research with regards to, okay, how does that one compare to that one? And that's what we've done for years.
Yep.
So it's good. Your podcasts with YouTubers are awesome. Can you give us a preview of what's coming up? Can we give you a preview? There's some good ones in the pipeline.
Nothing booked yet, though?
Nothing booked yet. So we'll get some pipeline stuff with a multiple major champion.
Ooh.
A former world number 2 golfer. A monster in the influencer world. So I think that'll probably take us to about the end of season 2.
That'll be season 2
of the podcast.
10 episodes or so.
Yeah.
Love it.
New member, Mr. Christine Hill.
Yeah, lots of new members. Welcome, guys. Sorry if we don't get your thing on time. Did you get that shaft one from Damien? Where's that? There you go. And then there's only one more, then we definitely have to go.
Okay, do you have a couple of iron shaft recommendations to replace my PXI 6.0? Steady takeaway, aggressive downswing. Definitely, Damien, try Modus 120s. Would be a really good one for you. Oban CT 115, be another good one. And last but not least, those two are going to be your best bet. Yeah, stick with those two. Oban CT 115, Modus 120, maybe try LZ 55. There's three.
Okay, there's one last question from Chase, and then we're going to flip over to our other one.
Okay, Chase is a 5.8 index, got a new ping G410 105. Thoughts on the GD Nano Reloaded? Have never worked with it. Never worked with it. Have Drago, should you change? Carries 240 and falls out the sky. Now, is that 240 falling out the sky because it's going up and then dropping because it's got too much spin, or is it dropping out the sky because it hits 240 and then it doesn't have enough spin to keep it there?
I do see people say that term, and they're not specifying. To me, it sounds like steep and it's spinning.
I would say
more often than
for
not.
most people, when it comes to that particular head, like if it was a Maverick Sub-Zero, we'd be going, okay, it's probably falling out the sky with too low spin. Chase is probably too high in the spin. Look at the loft. You may be able to turn the loft sleeve down a little bit.
Yep.
That may help.
If not, you'd have to look at a lower spin head though.
Yeah. At 105 swing speed, I wouldn't be looking at X-Flex shafts. I'd be sticking in the stiff range. Some of the stronger ones that are available at no extra upcharge. I mean, obviously, Ping offer the Tensei Orange, but not the Pro version. It's a lot softer. What else is there? Try maybe potentially into some hazardous smoke, that sort of thing.
Good. Okay. So let's wrap up. We're actually reasonably on time. So we're gonna zip over to the members only stream. If you're a silver member and above, join us. Just wait till the new one pops on. Yeah, I said hi to Rick.
So Shields in the house.
Yeah, good. Let's do that now, and we'll see everybody else on Thursday.
Have a good one, guys.